Well, we're back at MVP 210, and we're talking about the upcoming fight between Teofimo Lopez and Josh Taylor. The fight's going to be this Saturday, and it's going to be on ESPN. It's for Josh Taylor's Ringside Magazine and WBO Junior Welterweight. I believe they're fighting at 147. And, the interesting thing is that, ESPN, they have a bunch of guys there that, they have a few that have been boxers, right? World champs and all that. And then they got a few guys who are just probably have their masters in, telecommunications or whatever it is. I believe a lot of these guys have never stepped into a boxing ring before, never stepped into a boxing gym, I should say. But yet they're commenting on boxing, and it's probably because of their degree, but I don't think they even know what a jab is, or let me check that. They don't know how to throw a jab, right? And they don't know many things about boxing. All they know is what they hear, what they see. They're historians, but yet they're judging boxing and they're making their comments and all that. I mean, I have nothing against that, but someone who comes from a boxing family, my dad and my uncle were amateur boxers, 3-time Golden Gloves champs each. My dad went on to be a professional fighter back in the 60s, 70s, so you haven't heard too much about him. Locally here in San Antonio, Texas, and in South Texas, he's known a little bit, but I've learned a lot from him. My son fought as amateur. I trained many amateur fighters. I've been involved with boxing youth for 20 plus years. I learned a lot in the sport. I trained a little bit myself. I used it for weight loss and all that. So I know a lot about boxing when it comes to that. But the interesting thing is that ESPN did 21-0 as far as the predictions on who's going to win this fight. Everybody 21 for Josh Taylor, probably because of the weight difference, and I just don't see that happening at all. Many guys are saying it's going to be a split decision or it's going to be a unanimous decision. I just don't see that happening. Let me tell you why. Josh Taylor hasn't fought in a while, but we won't take too much into that. We'll put too much stock into that. I'm going to put stock into his last fight was Jose Ramirez. I think that the reason why he was able to beat Ramirez and was able to, he dominated a lot of the fight was because it wasn't so much about Josh Taylor, even though he's a hell of a fighter, great fighter, has skills, left-hander, everything else, uses it very well. But I believe it was more on Jose Ramirez not being ready for what Josh Taylor was doing in the fight. Taylor landed some good counters. Not gonna take anything away from him. He has his speed, he has skill, but there was a lot of instances in that fight where Jose Ramirez wasn't ready for the infighting. He wasn't ready for the all the nasty stuff that happens in boxing. The hitting while holding, the hitting while a referee's in the middle of the breakup. I mean, and I put that on Jose Ramirez and his coaches. I mean, I believe that that's something that's boxing 101. You have to tell fighters that's going to happen. You have to prepare for that kind of stuff. And when he got knocked down the first time, I think if I can remember correctly, it was a great straight counter punch. But after that, Josh Taylor did some nasty things to him. That hey, you gotta do what you gotta do to win. But Jose Ramirez wasn't ready for that. I believe he was really thrown out of his game and didn't do anything to counter that at all. So I put a lot of that win more on Jose Ramirez than I do on Josh Taylor. I think that Jose Ramirez wasn't ready for that kind of fight. And let's go back and let's say this, that styles make fights. You can't, it's hard to say this guy's going to beat that guy because that guy beat that guy. That doesn't work in boxing. And that's just basic boxing stuff. I mean, you have to know about boxing even to know that. I mean, but, I'm going to pick Teofimo Lopez to win this fight because Teofimo Lopez has some things to prove. He's looked well. I mean, the last guy he fought basically outboxed himself. He basically boxed too much. He did too much boxing and he wanted to win. I mean, he thought he had to win against Teofimo Lopez, but Teofimo Lopez kept the pressure going, kept landing his punches. It was a good fight. But those are the instances where too much boxing can work against you. That's going to be my next video. I'm going to talk about that fight. But I believe Teofimo Lopez has some things to prove to himself, and he's going to do what he has to do in this fight. And I give him the edge because of that. Give Josh Taylor, is a great fighter, but I think too many people, especially the ESPN commentators and their expert guys, are putting too much into Josh Taylor beating Jose Ramirez. And again, I put more of that win on Jose Ramirez than I do on Josh Taylor. That's just my opinion. And I think that Teofimo Lopez has a lot to prove, and he's going to come out and do it. It's going to be a good fight, I believe. There may be knockdowns. Teofimo Lopez has been knocked down a couple of times or stunned a couple of times. May happen in this fight. He may be knocked down. But I think he's going to get those knockdowns back. And I think he's going to show the judges, which are the more important person of the whole thing when it comes to this, because they're the ones judging the fight, that he's going to be the aggressor. He's going to do what it takes to win the fight, and he's going to win this fight. Probably split decision, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's unanimous decision, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's by knockout. So I'm taking Teofimo Lopez based on that he has some things to prove. He's moving up in weight, but I think that's better for him. I believe that he's going to carry his power, and he's going to carry the more important thing, which is the fighter mentality, the this is my life mentality, like this is for everything. And Teofimo Lopez is a true fighter. He's a good fighter, but he's a real fighter, and he's going to bring that into the ring. And I don't think he's going to let himself lose this fight. So I'm picking Teofimo Lopez over Josh Taylor this coming Saturday. And it's going to be interesting. I mean, ESPN, their commentators are always interesting to hear. They're always, to me, they've been biased for many years. They're probably headed where HBO was headed, where HBO ended up, which was canceling out boxing because people got tired of hearing that biased commentary. And that's what ESPN is doing. But they do that a lot, right? You check it out for yourself. You let me know. We'll come back. I'll visit with you guys maybe Saturday night. Maybe Monday, but I'll definitely be, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, right? But I don't think I'm gonna be wrong. I've been right all this time that I've been doing these videos, and I've been doing them for almost a year now, but it's because I have a little bit of boxing background. I know the sport, and I'm not just someone who got college educated. But again, all props to the ESPN champions and their expert commentators. They've been in the ring. I mean, they have a lot more stock than I do, and I give them all respect. Love those guys. But there's some guys there that really don't know what the heck they're talking about, and they should just kind of, get their paycheck, but maybe find something else to talk about. Let them talk about hockey or something, but leave the boxing alone for the people who actually done it, So, hey, God bless you guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe my channel. It's at MVP210, MVP meaning Mata Boxing Promotions, 210, my city, San Antonio. God bless you guys. Talk to you soon. Take care. All right, we're back at MVP 210. And what did I tell you guys about ESPN? Put your camera back on me. We're joined by my son, Jason Mata, who's serving in the Navy in Japan, securing everybody here in America. But let's get back to this fight. What did I tell ESPN? 20 people were interviewed from ESPN. 20 people picked Josh Taylor to win this fight. What did I tell y'all? That Teofimo Lopez was going to win this fight because he has something to prove, because he has the skills, he hits hard, he's a takeover. I told you he was going to win this fight.